Tramps by Charles Dickens. Narrated by David McCran. The chance use of the word tramp in my last paper brought that numerous fraternity so vividly before my mind's eye that I had no sooner laid down my pen than a compulsion was upon me to take it up again and make note of the tramps whom I perceived on all the summer roads in all directions. Whenever a tramp sits down to rest by the wayside, he sits with his legs in a dry ditch, and whenever he goes to sleep, which is very often indeed, he goes to sleep on his back. Yonder, by the high road, glaring white in the bright sunshine, lies, on the dusty bit of turf under the bramble bush that fences the coppice from the highway, the tramp of his order savage, fast asleep. He lies on the broad of his back, with his face turned up to the sky, and one of his ragged arms loosely thrown across his face. His bundle, what can be the contents of that mysterious bundle to make it worth his while to carry it about, is thrown down beside him, and the waking woman with him sits with her legs in the ditch, and her back to the road. She wears her bonnet rakishly perched on the front of her head, to shade her face from the sun in walking, and she ties her skirts round her in conventionally tight tramp fashion with a sort of apron. You can seldom catch sight of her resting thus, without seeing her in a despondently defiant manner doing something to her hair or her bonnet, and glancing at you between her fingers. She does not often go to sleep herself in the daytime, but will sit for any length of time beside the man, and his slumberous propensities would not seem to be referable to the fatigue of carrying the bundle, for she carries it much oftener and further than he. When they are afoot, you will mostly find him slouching on ahead, in a gruff temper, while she lags heavily behind with the burden. He is given to personally correcting her too, which phase of his character develops itself oftenest on benches outside alehouse doors, and she appears to become strongly attached to him for these reasons. It may be usually noticed that when the poor creature has a bruised face, she is the most affectionate. He has no occupation whatever, this order of tramp, and has no object whatever in going anywhere. He will sometimes call himself a brickmaker or a sawyer, but only when he takes an imaginary flight. He generally represents himself in a vague way as looking out for a job.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?